Welcome, join 2022 San Francisco GOCAA International Music Competition. Let me invite today Judge Svelana Smolina, correct? Hi, good morning. Hi, you open your song. You can talking a little bit. Okay, and hi. Okay.
Can
Okay.
you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Good morning.
Wonderful. Good morning.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting me. Looking forward to wonderful talent.
Yeah. So happy to see you. You're so beautiful today. Yeah, hope you enjoy today contestant the music. Okay, today I will play all contestant on the junior division B the video first, and then I hope you can comment for each contestant.
All right. So do we comment after each or after all eight? Or
Okay,
after each?
you can decide. You want each or I play all, you can comment. Okay, you
Maybe
can
after each is better. More
each.
detailed.
Okay.
Yes.
Each. Okay. Okay. Let me start it. Okay, now me mute yourself. Mute yourself, and I mute myself, and we will start for first contestant. 好，欢迎大家参加这个2022年的这个旧金山国际音乐比赛。那我们今天邀请了这个评委，他是来自这个他是俄罗斯，也是在美国洛杉矶居住的一个职业音乐钢琴家。然后呢，今天呢，我会把每一个选手的视频播放，然后呢，他会跟每一个选手来做一个简单的一个点评。好，Let us listen first contestant Grace Kwan.
All right, so I can comment now?
Yeah, and
Yes.
Grace, you in the room? If you in June, you raise your hand. I let me know. I'm not sure all contestants will in here or not. Okay, you just comment. I will recording too to
We
her.
will just record. All right. Great, wonderful performance. Thank you a lot for submitting your recording. We really enjoyed your playing. You're really wonderful musician. I can see that you really pay attention to all the elements of the score, and that was important for Laura Lieberman because he said that his music is really interconnected of all elements of the score, attention to dynamics, phrasing, articulation, and structure. And you do a wonderful job on all those aspects. And I really like how you build up the piece in character and in sound. So this is the good parts that I'm going to mention it. And so you have very good potential. However, few comments about this recording. First of all, I really suggest that you record on a grand piano if it's possible. It's really going to change overall sound quality of your recording. Also, I think the device that you used was not really a professional device. It was probably iPad or computer or iPhone because I saw you clicked it with your finger, which is also not good. Try to have someone to record for yourself next time, or at least you cut the moment where you stop recording yourself because that doesn't really look professional. And another thing, of course, oh yeah, so about the sound, I felt that when you build up the culmination, I saw that you really involved your upper body weight and back weight, and you had a really in your mind very full sound. However, your device started to cut big volumes, and it kind of narrowed down your fortissimo to just 1/4 of sound. I saw that you had more sound than we could hear on the recording, and it was probably the problem of the device that you recorded on. So try to have better professional equipment for next time for recording. And of course, it would be better to memorize the piece because when you play with score, although Lieberman is quite a contemporary composer, but still many contestants now they play Lieberman by memory, and that would be the next step I recommend because it just looks a little bit underdone when you play with the score and turn pages yourself. And so that would be the few comments I suggest to improve for next time. But you're really wonderful musician, and I really like your phrasing. And again, how you think is really masterful, and your technique is really on a very, very high level. Oh, one more thing, when you play the culmination and you had this octaves in left hand, which was very thick texture and technically difficult, and you really execute precisely and really wonderful the left hand. However, I could hear that the phrasing in right hand was a little bit affected by what you do in left hand. And so although the right hand had the main melody, time-wise, it started to serve left hand because the left hand was more technically challenging texture. So try to always know that this happens a lot, and unless you really consciously try to avoid that, it's going to happen. So try to switch your mind always to the main line of the piece, no matter how difficult is the other hand, so it serves better phrasing while you're playing. So, but you're a wonderful musician, and we look forward to hearing your next piece at the competition. Thank you.
Thank you, Svelana, and you give a lot of good idea for her. Okay, then listen next contestant for 瑞士劳瑞士. Oh, okay, we need mute yourself. Hi.
Bravo, bravo. The name, should I say it correctly?
瑞士劳，
Rusi?
瑞士劳，OK，劳瑞斯，请问你在这里吗？劳瑞斯，请问你在 Zoom 里面吗？如果你在 Zoom 的话，可以打开你的声音跟评委说 say hi。
Is he here? Or we need to record?
Yeah, in here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, lucky you in here. Okay. Okay, so you can say hello.
Hello, Rusi. You have wonderful, really Bach redemption. Really loved it. I like your sound. I like your clarity. Your articulation is very, very particular. It almost sounds every individual voice attention, the quality of Glenn Gould. So you're really on the top level of playing the Bach. So congratulations. And you had wonderful also recording and equipment and all really, really professional. Maybe just a couple of comments because it really sounds fantastic and not much I can say here except keep playing Bach. It's really your composer. Sometimes in a prelude, your continuity of top voice was really good on the first page, but then on the second page, I felt like I heard some of notes went a little bit faster as you do crescendo. Try not to, because to be really gallant dance, yum pum 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 pum. So make sure that every note on the top voice is always on the beat, not ahead. Another thing, this Bach has this when you have has these jumps, yum pum pum. On the third beat, it's usually a jump, right? And he has like a little apostrophe before the beat. So that means he wanted to a little bit extend time. Yum pum pa da 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 pum pa. If you delay a little bit the last note, it will give you more gallant feeling to this dance. So that would just enhance the character and make it even more sophisticated. Same in left hand. What we don't want to hear is a triplet. Yum pum pum, yum pum pum. If it's exactly on time, it sounds like a triplet, but it's duplet plus side note. So I would just millisecond later on that side note entrance would be maybe more in style. When you go to the middle part here, try to add the middle voices a little bit. So we hear always inner voices, not just by the first beat, because I heard really well dynamic in the first beat, pam, but the inner voices on beat 2 and 3 could be brought out for the harmony a little bit more. So it's more fuller, richer harmony, not just on the first beat. That's about all. Yeah, and anything you can play a little bit more strong. You can finish it with more personality and more artistry. It was a little too shy. You did it really well in fugue, but prelude also needs to have, it's the first number on a concert usually, right? So it needs to really be confident ending for the prelude. Just a little observation. For the fugue, really liked everything, but however, when you play these 8 notes, there is also danger when we see something that's repetitive and it's the same intervals, kind of sequential, right? We start sinking into it, like 1, 1, 1, 1, so, and we make a first beat a little bit more important in sound than the other beat. So I don't think that's the case here, because both voices are equally important. So try to, when you distribute your hand weight, don't be more hand weight on a beat and less on a half beat. Try to have the same pum, 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 same weight on each note, or whatever line you need to build. So it doesn't sound as a da-dum and then less da-dum, ba-dum. I heard that a few times in both hands, where you just emphasize the beat and the following 8 notes sound less important, which is not. It's a really 9-note texture leading right to the resolution. So that's probably the only thing in prelude, in fugue that yes. And another thing, when you play tight note, sometimes you release them a little too earlier. So try not to check all the tight notes. When the tight notes go over the beat and you start the other voice, sometimes the voice is not heard already on the following beat as a tight. Okay. And I can't hear it all. Yeah. So be more careful with the balancing underlying voice. So we can still 2 notes on the end of the tie instead of just the 1 note. And that's about it. I think I really like the character and the stylistic differences, and it really sounded exquisite. Your technique is wonderful, and you have very good sense of keys, tonality, which is important in Bach because it's no matter how many notes you play, it still should sound like a choral, and the texture of the chords should you have very good balance between the harmonies and the way you develop the harmonies throughout the fugue. So it sounds really like orchestral in a way, not just pianistic. And that's a very good quality, because that means you really see your piece from above, and you are able to do masterfully dynamic plan, which is important in Bach. So you have a lot of colors. So congratulations, and I hope that little 2-3 comments that I did can help you even further improve this piece and win everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Svelana. Okay, now we start next number 3 contestant 一凡吴一凡. Okay, we mute. Hi, welcome. Svelana can give some comment to it.
Yeah, quite the playing, huh? Ifan, thank you so much. Is he here or it's we need to record?
一凡，吴，请问你在吗？吴一凡，OK，not sure. Okay, I can, but I will recording to her.
Yes, we'll just record. Well, first of all, bravo. I know it's probably the most difficult transcendental etude, and your redemption is really, really impressive. So already hats off to your technical excellence, and the command of the instrument is very, very impressive that you have. So it's really, really high level of playing, and it's very convincing, and you have very good artistic personality also. So all these qualities are really outstanding when you perform. So bravo on such a high level of your piano playing. I'm sure it's a lot of years of practicing and hard work that really pays off now. So I wanted to comment on few aspects that I think can bring your playing even to more impressive, outstanding, and mesmerizing levels. First of all, I wanted to talk about your face because you execute really wonderfully all the elements of this etude, and it seems like you play with such an ease, and it's like not a work for you. However, when I look at your face, I see a lot that your lower jaw gets tense. It happened in octaves, it happened in a few jumps. So, and that shows us that it's you doing some work, which we should not feel. When you play, it should be pure delight to see how easy it is for you. So your face is kind of sending different message. And it's very important how you look, even your facial expression on stage, because you are half of your visual image makes your your artistic presence, and we always look at your face, body of course, but face is very important. So try to be more aware of that, because that jaw tension that you have, it also can relieve even greater for you achievement in sound difference, perhaps, because when you tense in your face, that means that some muscles have tension, even in your arms and fingers, although it's not hurt. But for example, I noticed that your left hand sometimes could be a little bit more upper broad in level of sound. Because it's all about effects, this piece, right? And show off. The Liszt was such a virtuoso performer. People fainted at his performance. The piano was broken. So it's all about the showcase this piece, right? So your left hand can create a little bit more volume in certain places, and that would even more highlight what you do in the right hand and the double notes in the middle. Stronger basses sometimes and more resonant could also bring your texture and to highlight it more, so it's more multi-dimensional. And so the first thing is the face. Check your muscles, look at your video and see when you do it, and try to, when you practice, to really pay attention to your face so it doesn't get tense in your lips and lower jaw. And another thing about your left hand sound, I noticed that your left foot is very often, I don't know if you can see it, but it's very often under the bench, and it's not in front, or not in front, but it's like in front of you, where you could just easily stand up on your feet. That's usually the best position for the foot placement, unless you use a pedal, of course. But keeping it under the bench gives you a little bit, takes away support from your back, which is important to create bigger volume in your left hand. And you very often, you lift your heel and you kind of like hanging there on your toes even, which is, I don't know how you do it. It's another skill. But I think that if you watch position of your left foot, and it's more in front rather than under the bench, and you don't raise your heel and just hang there on your toes, that will give you much bigger support for sound coming from your back. Because right now your sound is kind of lingering there just in your arm, and it doesn't have your leg support. So these two aspects I wanted to mention, because I think if you pay attention to those, it would just create another level of freedom for your expression and for your sound. So, and also one more thing, in the middle section, you have beautiful phrasing. However, the phrase is like 4 bars, right? So 4-bar phrases, and it's when we play long notes on the piano, and we have very few notes per bar, like it's here, we have only, how many notes? Well, the line is like, so only 3 notes per bar, right? And 2, right? It's hard with 3 notes to create that dynamic progression of the phrase. So we do it with the other voices. That's the only way, right? To do crescendo on a note that you already hold, the only way to make crescendo on the piano is to do it with the other voices. So pay attention what sound you have in the 3rd bar of the phrase, because it could be more full or more gentle, depending on what you want to achieve in your phrase. So your phrases are more alive in the dynamics with the help of more extreme and more different dynamics in your chords that goes underlying your melody. So I would work more on the dynamics in the middle voices, in the middle part, in the soft part. So those are the 3 main things I wanted to talk, but it's really impressive the way you play, and I wish you to win all the prizes and competitions that you enter, and bravo. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Now we listen next. Number 4, 上艺高.
Yeah.
Okay, we mute. Svelana. Okay, you can comment this contestant.
Yes, 善意, right?
Yeah, 上亿高，you in here 上亿高上亿，请问你在这里吗？如果你在的话，你 rest 一下你的 hand，或者是打开你的声音。Okay, we can recording.
Yes. So really wonderful scrubbing playing. I know it's not an easy composer to understand, and it's really your style, and you really play it beautifully. I like how you are able to control all the levels, and how well you still control the phrases within each level, and that's very rare and very good quality. So bravo, I think you really can hear all the levels individually and create wonderful colors in them. And so I don't have much to say. Sometimes, because this sonata is the most probably lyrical sonata of this composer, and he was really in love with one girl, and he dedicated this sonata to his beloved Natalia, and also he tried to experiment with the images of the water. So it's in a way a very impressionistic and romantic, lovable piece of music. So in talking about that, for your lyrical themes, sometimes I wish you would take more rubatos in the middle of the bar. So it's not exactly fitting the 3-beat structure. So you can experiment with that, because that music allows more fermatas in the theme, even if they're not written in the score. It's just the style. It's really like real improvisation. It should not sound like a written out score. So you can experiment with your phrasing, and extend the middle of the bar, take more time there on the long notes of the phrase, delay descents. So your rubato can be more free in the lyrical themes. Also, try to use more impressionistic technique on a repeated note. I use try sliding out kind of technique, yeah, and just like really just hand weight. Don't use much of your arm when you're playing two piano in scrubbing, so it sounds more transparent. And also, your pedals, sometimes you can use more middle pedal. I don't think you use middle pedal. This music is the place to use the middle pedal, where your bass can be set on a couple of bars or 3 bars, if the harmony allows that. This is very typical for scrubbing. So try to explore your middle pedal technique. It's really, it would give you another layer of transparency and another layer of voicing everything. The right pedal, you can use more vibrato technique, and more like 1/4 of the pedal, 1/8, like very on top of the pedal, kind of this vibrating technique. I took few lessons with Marta Argerich, and she was really pro in that. Like the way she pedaled, it was unbelievable. It's not like what we're used to here in school, clean pedal and change. It's not about that. So that's the piece to experiment with your long pedals and the vibrating technique of the right foot. So I suggest you listen to Sofronitsky, Vladimir Sofronitsky. I think in this style, since he was a relative of Scriabin, nobody else knew how the composer wanted to hear his music as Vladimir Sofronitsky, and I think nobody plays sonatas better than him. So I would listen more to his rubatos. Sometimes it's crazy, but that's what this music is. It sometimes doesn't make any sense, but it's so beautiful in its beautiful craziness. So I would suggest you explore more rubatos, relying on his recording. And his pedals are really spectacular. You can hear how he blends the colors. It's not always clean. It's a lot of interlaying, and the right pedal technique of the pedal also can be heard on his recording. So, but this is very, very, very high aspect I'm talking about. It's not that you have to do it. It's just a suggestion. If you do that, you would be the most amazing Scriabin player, just like Vladimir Sofronitsky was. So, but other than that, I really loved your performance, and take more time also in fermatas. Sometimes the time really should freeze, and that's another movement where you freeze the time and then you restart it. So when you freeze the time, take the time so we can feel that emptiness in eternity of the harmony, and the question mark that it leaves in our mind will be even more meaningful if you take more time on the rest and more fermatas, a little prolong. Yeah, so those are the little few comments I can give, but bravo, I really love this Scriabin.
Thank you, thank you. Your subject is very good for him. Okay, next we will listen 一章 number 5一章。张毅同学，如果是在这里面的话，你也可以就是跟我们一起沟通啊。Okay, we mute.
Zhang, thank you.
Yeah, and 易章you in here？张毅，请问你在这里吗？Maybe now is so late on the China. The two students from for the China. So I will recording. I will send to her. Okay.
Okay, thank you. You play really beautiful this piece, and it sounds really vocal, which is great because we can hear all the vocal lines, and you have great technique as well. I wish I could see your hands. I don't know why you chose this angle for the recording, which is very untraditional.
Yeah, yeah. Next time you change.
We must see your hand because this is the main feature of you. So I couldn't see anything what you do on the piano. So never do this angle again. It's not a winning angle. So always make sure that we see your torso and hands and keyboard. I can recommend when you work on your phrasing, future, try to hear connection on sound between the last beat of the previous bar and the first beat of the next bar. Because many times I heard that your bar, when you go into thicker texture, starts on a bigger sound than the previous beat. And what happens if that happens, like if the first beat is strong and then if the fourth beat is faded, we start hearing by bars instead of phrase. And I see that you hear the phrase, but because of your kind of deep touch on the first beat, sometimes I could hear that it was breaking your phrases just because of that inaccuracy in sound. So try like a violin. They pay attention to note connections. And same with vocals artists. They work on how one note is connected to another note in terms of sound and its emotional aspect. And for us, sometimes pianists, we forget about this. We just play notes and we try to play them clean. And it's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is the same as for string players and vocalists and orchestral, is how you build up the dynamic between the notes. That's what's important in a phrase. So when you practice, I suggest that you really, really listen what sound connection you make between the notes. Maybe some without pedal practice would be beneficial, but it's not really about the pedal. It's really about not to, like when you play the, for example, here, not to make that downbeat accented, because it goes to second beat and second bar, and then here goes to the first beat, right? So you need to be aware of that dynamic idea in your sound, in your notes, and so just work more on that. Yeah, that was actually the main suggestion for you, just to work on how much weight you give to each note according to your phrase. And the chord, I heard really nice improvisation. It's not what Balakarev wrote, but that's okay. It's sounding good, but next time check the text at the end. And yeah, have fun with this piece. You have really great potential to make it one of your best pieces in your repertoire. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next will be on the number 6, Jie Liang. Okay, we listen video. Mute.
Bravo. Bravo. Amazing.
Okay.
All right. I don't mind listening again to this.
So, okay, now you can come.
All right. Here. She's not here, right?
I'm not sure because he Australia.
哇，
杰良，请问你在这里吗？杰良。Okay, I'm not sure, but are we recording?
Okay, first of all, congratulations on such a impressive performance. It's always very hard to play orchestral transcriptions. It's a special genre, and the chances are always that the piano would lose to the orchestra colors, which does not happen when you play. So bravissimo, because it was really interesting to hear you play. You have a wonderful colors, wonderful effects orchestral, and your sense of rhythm is really, really great, which is so important in Stravinsky. So it's really sound not any more interesting than the original version of the ballet. So bravo on that. This is there's so many wonderful things that it's hard to really put it in a 1 or 2 minute comment. But probably I would speak about what I think you can still pay attention to when you practice this, because it's just more beneficial. Because again, I can brag 1 hour how amazing you play that, but that's not good to you, right? So you need to use more middle pedal in a lullaby, because when you come to this wonderful harmonies over F sharp bass, I don't have a ghosty version, but I have I downloaded quickly Stravinsky original score, so it's not going to be the same. But when you go to this heart and you use this, the harps in the middle section, all the basses should be placed on middle pedal, otherwise they don't sound. So you have layer of the bass for 2 bars. You only use right pedals, so it lost that important, because the strings sustain that in the orchestra, and it's really magical. It gives such a warmth to the texture. So try to use more pedal, middle pedal in a lullaby, because you do it well in a finale, but not in a lullaby. It's missing that register. In the first dance of Cachet, right? Tam pam pa pam pa pam. You exit from the long bottom note. Sometimes it's a little bit ahead, and when it happens a couple of times, that electrifying effect of that syncopated note was immediately lost. And you're not the level of pianist who can afford that, because your rhythm is really amazing. So make sure that you ta 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 on that long note. Imagine crescendo, and when we're imagining on tight note crescendo, we will hold it longer, because it just, that effect in our mind takes more time to do. So that was also in Bach, good comment from the good. He said on a tight note, just imagine just making crescendo, and then you will be always correct on exit. So it's about the same. So just a couple of rhythmical because it has to be still light. This rhythm, that's why this dance is so hard, that it needs to be in very, very strict rhythmical beats. And that's very important for that. You can use more, when you play such a orchestral transcriptions, you can explore more wide range of your crescendos by starting them softer. I thought a few places also in the finale, if you would start from much softer sound, oh, I see my student online. How did she get here? Yeah, so if you start softer, your phrases, and you save your energy on the last bar to create bigger crescendo, which you can do. I thought some of your crescendos was not reaching that high 3, 4, 5 quarters. So that would be even better. Like, you know, like Vladimir Horowitz used to do that a lot. Extreme dynamic range. Don't be shy with your quarters. It really should be penetrating, brilliant. In your disappearance movement, I know it's very hard to play tremolos on the piano, but try to create that orchestral effect where the tremolo does not stop. I know it's super hard, but you can do it. You have wonderful abilities. So all the harmonies, when you switch the harmony in the next bar, make sure you don't stop the previous harmony. So try to, like, I don't know if I can, but here when you play this song. So it starts without stop, all the harmonies. So there's no stop on the last beat, and then restart of the harmony. But it should be that shimmering color, and it's very hard to do, I know. So try to work more on that. Also in the lullaby, in the last section when you do tremolo, I first stop in the beat. You play and you stop and you stop. I think the continuous crescendo would be much more effective to do, because that's how it sounds in orchestra. So don't stop your tremolo. So it needs more relaxing rhythm, more like a hit up touch, and really controlled ending on the harmonies. That's about it. Yeah, the finale also. When you start that brass section, when you play this, keep that maestoso character. Usually start well in terms of rhythm, because each note is really projected in that orchestra, the trumpets and the brass and the, you know, like all the trombones, and they cannot do that small accelerandos which you did in the middle somewhere, and that kind of destroy that orchestral maestoso. I suggest you use your don, 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 don. Be very, very strict on when you place the quarter notes. It should be exactly on the beat there. I don't suggest rubatos there. I don't think it's the place for rubato when you play that brass character. That's about it. And the last crescendo also can be like when you start the last section maestoso, when you start you did one continuous crescendo. Try to do two. That's what Horowitz did. He broke his last crescendos into two crescendos instead of one. So we had one effect of crescendo and then another effect of crescendo, even stronger than the first. And it creates much bigger impact sound-wise on the listeners. So I suggest you think in which bar you can do a little bit less and then build up again. This would be double more effective. Yeah, so, and go crazy in the last bar. I felt like you created a great crescendo, but it was not mind-blowing. This piece is all about overwhelming effects. So try to really like do more than what you think you do, and then even more, and then even more. So you can, there's no limit of dynamic effects in this piece. So if you work more on your dynamics and make it more effective, and still like rhythm when you play brass-like themes, I think it will be even more stunning level, although you already played stunningly. All right, thank you so much. Bravo.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're very good. Search for him. I will send video to him. Yeah.
All
And
right.
okay, and next is number 7, Lin Huang Lin. Li
Mhm.
Huang Lin.
All right. Bravo. This is very hard piece to play.
Yes.
So just taking it in your repertoire, that's extra credit to you. Li Huan, right? Li Huan.
If you're in here, you tell me, okay? Be recording.
Well, we can go short comment or long comment. Long comment would be commenting each variation, but that would take a lot of time. So I'm just going to speak in general, I guess, and maybe talk about two things. You have wonderful Beethoven qualities, and for a girl of your age, it's really nice to see that masculine presence, and it's really, you create great drama. So I really love the way you feel this music, and it sounds very convincing, and it's very, very, very impressive for a girl of your age to play like that. Maybe sometimes I felt like your tempos were so virtuoso fast that it lost the quality of how clear we could hear every note. Beethoven is not the composer where you go crazy fast, like, extremes like Liszt or I don't know, some even Chopin pieces you can play faster, but that's also actually melody. But Liszt, for example, right? That's the composer where you would go to extremes of the tempos. But this is not the composer like that. The Beethoven is very much, even on the piano, he was great orchestrator and great symphonic composer. So everything what he wrote has that clarity of orchestral quality that we hear when we come to hear great symphony. So I suggest that you should decide what's your maximum speed in order not to lose the quality in your fast notes. And by quality, I mean, of course, precision, and also the sound of 16 notes in Beethoven is very particular. It's not the way you just can play arpeggio like in Chopin and highlight the first note of the group and then play lighter after the first note of the group. No, Beethoven is where you really need to dig out every note with hand weight, proper arm weight, and every note counts. You can't miss the notes inside the beat. And that many times I heard that you went so fast that you're able to control the beat itself, but what happened inside the beat was a complete mystery. And you just try to place these notes in tempo. But I couldn't hear the quality of your 16 notes in many variations inside the beat. So I would suggest that you play a little slower when you practice, and you know your maximum speed. And for example, not just like, I take example of simply, but you need to add more hand weight inside the group. Even in when you play the scales, for example, in variation, what is it? Variation 18. When you play this, okay. You want to hear all the notes, not just last note, but and just color. No, every note. You need to play more deep in Beethoven. That's very specific technique for Beethoven fast notes. So please add hand weight for the fast note inside the beat. That's one comment. Another comment is about your pedals. Sometimes your pedals, when you have a rest, that really means a rest. That doesn't mean that the previous harmony has to last or the previous voice has to be heard. Make sure that you don't keep the pedal when Beethoven wrote rest. It's very important. It gives you time to chance to breathe and to feel the entrance of the next beat. It's very important for orchestral music like we have here. When you play tenutos, for example, in variation 15, make sure that you hold the exit note and you hold it. When you change the pedal, you still hold the right hand. Many times I've heard this, and you change the pedal and you lost the note. Make sure you hold, right? So listen to the text in your score. Every beat needs to last how long it's written. You can't take liberties here, like it's Scriabin or even Chopin allows liberties. But Beethoven is very, very precise to the score composer. Your triplets, for example, in a triplet, listen to the end of the bar. I heard sometimes you play really well beginning, but then I can hear. And the ending is very important because it leads to the next bar and the harmony. It again has to do with how to say this correctly. You need to have a plan how you distribute your hand weight, and you must know your maximum amount of weight you can be aware of that you give to notes, and make sure that it happens on a correct beat. Because sometimes, again, we come to the same point where the beginning of the bar sounds heavy and end of the bar sounds lighter and unclear. And it should be exactly opposite. The ending of the bar should be more clear. And because your mind is a very forward thinking, which is good, but not good when you lose the sound. If you think that fast, like you do, you always think ahead, you still have to be, because we are 3 persons as a performer, you have to be active performer, active listener in the hall, and active philosopher who need to have a picture how it should sound. So you have to be 3 people in one. And very often I hear that you're only performer. So you are only, you depend on how technically you feel in the particular bar, and you don't control sound according to your bigger structure of the phrase or the variation. So that's important. You need to be really present. At the same time, the forward thinking is good and you have it, but you need to have more present thinking on each note. Don't fly so fast forward here. So yeah, control every note when you practice. The rhythm in quarter notes sometimes da, da, dum, bum, very orchestral. This is an example where one of your quarter notes sounded shorter than the other one. It should not happen. It's da, da, dum. Actually, the second one should sound stronger. Da, da, dum. And more crescendo again. Think when you play long notes, think of crescendo on them. Then you will exit later them if you think of crescendo effects. I think I covered the main aspect. We can talk about some theme, technical issues, but in general, yeah, when you play soft variation like 28, be aware of your long phrase. It goes long. Try to create sound in left hand where it doesn't interfere with strong basses at the beginning of each bar. So we can only hear that beautiful melody lasting 8 bars. It's not 4-bar phrase, it's not 2-bar phrase, it's 8-bar phrase. So very, very good control of the starting beats in the underlying hand. What else can I say? There was one more thing I wanted to, hold on, I will remember. Yeah, your pedals we talked already about. Yeah, some of the rhythms. Oh yeah, there was this variation when you play 3 and 4. I forgot which one was it. And you started the ta-ta-ram, pa-pa-ram, pa-pa-ram, that 4-beat figure. You started really late, so it kind of disformed your rhythm. Try to work on that polyrhythm much better, so that 4-note figure. I don't remember which variation was it. Fine. Do you remember which variation was that? Where she had polyrhythms?
I don't know.
Variation 16. When you play them. You do something. 4 notes with rest, yeah? And you do. So it sounds 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So start earlier the right hand. So because it's otherwise it sounds really strange. All right. So what main thing for you is to control the sound inside the beat in your hand, and you need to distribute more hand weight on each note, play deeper, and that's why your tempo should be slower. That's very important. Don't go to that crazy high speed. It's not necessary in this piece. But other than that, bravo, and great playing.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we listen last contestant. Yeah, Angela. Yeah.
My name is Angela, and today I'll be playing Prelude in E flat major by Rachmaninoff.
Beautiful playing, Angela. Thank you.
Angela,
Wonderful.
I'm not sure. Angela, if you're here, tell me. Okay. Okay, we recording too.
All right, so this is very happy piece, Rachmaninoff. I don't know if you know that he wrote it right after his first daughter was born. So he was he was the happiest man alive because of the birth of his daughter that he adored. So this is very peaceful music and very happy. And it's not a fast prelude. Why I'm saying that? Because I really like your musical ideas. You have a wonderful sense of harmony. You have a wonderful phrasing and everything to be the best in this music. However, your tempo it sounded a little nervous to me because first of all, your tempo of your he wrote andante. If I'm not mistaken, it's andante. So if you take into account your left hand, by how fast you play that, it sounds like Mendelssohn's Song Without Words, where he would write allegretto or even allegro. I heard these tempos. I didn't hear andante at all. And because of that, it kind of created this nervousness character that didn't allow me to relax and to feel the joy of that overwhelming happiness that he was, the state of mind of the composer was at this moment when he composed that. So I suggest you choose the better tempo for left hand. It should sound like a slow melody. It's not a fast where you play the Chopin third prelude where it's everything. It's not like that. It's melody. It should be slow and smooth as a butter in terms of the line, because that fast tempo created another problem, that your right hand became dependent on that fast tempo in left hand. So, for example, when you start this, we have phrases in a lot of 8 notes. Some of them sound, and that creates that unnecessary nervousness in this music. It should not be like that. So try to think of better tempo where you can. You can take more time on the top notes of the phrase, of course. But then after this should be more even. And beginning of the phrase also, it should be, no, there's no chirando in music really. When you go to second page, maybe somewhere there, but then again, it goes. So that's a tempo issue. And the evenness of 8 notes in right hand, try to have a mind of vocal soprano when you do this, not instrumental. And really like enlarge every note. And when you're at the end of the phrases in Rachmaninoff, it's important to enjoy the harmonies more. For example, on this descent, you need to savor more all the time. That makes it so special because if they're so fast, we can't even hear the harmony. So enjoy. The larger the interval, the more time you take. On descent, sorry. Yeah. Also, some of the beginning of the phrase you can play, and the second page also. So it's very more intimate. It becomes you should enjoy more each. So be more present at the present harmony and just enjoy that peaceful butter kind of sound from your left hand and you enjoy each harmony more in slow tempo. So I suggest you practice even largo. In order to play that slow, it's better to practice even slower. So it feels like you're playing a little bit faster than what you practice. So I suggest you practice really slow and be able to play just the left hand by memory in slow tempo. It's really difficult left hand in this prelude because it's slow and it needs to be so, every note needs to be so felt through. So other than that, wonderful. Yeah, just enjoy the harmonies and have fun more with this piece.
Thank you for Svelana. Very good subject to the contestant. Thank you. And I will record today your comment. I will send to the contestant. Yeah. So everything contestant can check in the website GOCAA music.com. Okay, or send email to us gocaamusic@gmail.com. Okay, see you in final. Bye.
Congratulations, everyone.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you. Bye.